Hello everyone. Today I'll be sharing this one pot chicken and rice recipe, which was inspired by the Arabian or Saudi Arabian Kabsa recipe. I hope I got the pronunciation right. I added my own twist to it, so please let's get started. So into my saucepan on fire, I'm adding in some oil and I'll be going in with some butter, bay leaves, and lemon zest. So the original recipe, the Arabian recipe, requires that you use dried lemons, but I didn't have any, so I decided that I'll use a substitute, which is the lemon zest. I mean, I googled it and that was the substitute that came up, so I used that. Okay. So I'm going to give this a stir and then allow everything to maybe dissolve nicely and release their flavors. And then I'll go in with some chopped onions. So the original recipe uses sliced onions, but I mean, I have boys, I have kids in the house who will pick out my onions. So I'm like, okay, let me just dice them and move on. So I'll keep frying the onions till they are translucent. So before you ask why Yasmin would just get up and decide to try an Arabian recipe, let me explain something. I watched a video from Dinah Ekweme. So she's a Nigerian YouTuber who recently relocated to Saudi Arabia to join her husband. She went ahead with the kids, okay? And then she tried this kabsa recipe from one of her neighbors and she was like, wow, this is so good. So like it's the way she enjoyed the thing that made me want to try it. So I'm like, let me look in my pantry, bring out my own ingredients and then try this, okay? So what you saw me add in earlier was some powdered pepper or cayenne pepper you like to call it, local mixed spices and curry powder. So I'm also adding in some tomato paste and blended tomatoes and onions. At this point, you think that we are coming to do some jollof bi, but the result will shock you. So please don't go anywhere and keep watching. So I'll give this a stir or a mix and then I'm going to add in some blended ginger and garlic because the Ghanaian in me wanted to do that, okay? I'll also go ahead to season my sauce or my tomato based sauce with some chicken seasoning and salt, okay? And then I'll give this a stir and then allow to simmer for maybe about 7 minutes. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Yasmi and you're welcome to the Taste and Bloom Kitchen. And in Ghana here, till January ends, we still greet Happy New Year. So please, if this is your first time here, Happy New Year, okay? At this point, my sauce is doing well. I'm adding in my pre-cooked chicken. So let me explain why I cooked this chicken. This is chicken from the one that we slaughtered during the Christmas, okay? And it was hard. So I think they call it hen or something. So because I felt that it will not be soft enough, I had to pre-cook it with no spices, not even salt, okay? And then I added it to the sauce. So just to make sure that this will be tender enough once the food is cooked, all right? So as you can see, I'm mixing everything together to make sure that the sauce seeps into my chicken. And oh yeah, before I forget, before I cooked my chicken, I poked some holes in there with a fork to allow whatever juices or spices to seep in there once I put them into the sauce or the stew, okay? So I gave this about 7 minutes and allowed the sauce or the stew to cook further my chicken, okay? And it allows the spices to also penetrate into the chicken. So at this point, the chicken is good to go. It's been seasoned beautifully with the sauce or the stew. I'm going to take it out and then put it on my rack. I'll be putting it into the air fryer later on, but then first of all, let me take care of my rice. So to my sauce or my stew, I'll be adding in my washed rice. So as you can tell, I turned down the heat because once the rice goes in, I'm going to mix this very well and then allow the rice to toast for a few minutes before going in with water. Let me take this pause to appreciate every single one of you who have made this YouTube journey a success. Thank you so much for the unflinching support, my fellow YouTubers, individuals. I am so blessed to have you. You have no idea. So let's get back to the chicken. So here I have my chicken, which is going to be going into my air fryer. I'm going to coat it with a bit of oil and suya spice. So the oil, first of all, will make sure that the chicken is not drying out once it's in the air fryer, okay? And then also the suya spice will also add some spice to the chicken, even though it's received some seasoning from the stew. So according to my air fryer, this will be left in there for 20 minutes at 400 degrees Celsius. You can equally do this in an oven. And no pressure, if you don't have an oven or air fryer, you can do this on your stove top. So you can shallow fry, you can deep fry, it's all up to you, okay? So back to my rice. The rice has been toasting for about 5 minutes now. I'm going to give this a quick stir and then go in with some water. And by now, if you've been around here for a bit, you would know the national anthem. Know thy rice. So next, for more flavor, I'll be adding in some papushito. This is totally optional, but it gives a lot of flavor into the dish, okay? So now the water has drained a bit. I'm fluffing up my rice and then I'll cover with a parchment paper and allow the heat to cook my rice through. See, I don't know about you, right? But this food is giving me hybrid between fried rice and jollof rice mixed bither. And am I alone? But do stay tuned for the final result, all right? So I gave this about 8 minutes and I went again to check my rice and it was doing amazing. I went in with some leftover vegetables I had in the freezer. You can add any vegetables of your choice. This is what I had after the Christmas chilling. Okay, so that is what I used and it added some beautiful color to my rice. So once my green bell peppers were stirred in, I gave this about 1 minute and then that was it. It was ready. But look at the way this pepper was giving me pepper. I left one of them cry inside there, but anyway, that was it. My chicken was also done in my air fryer, and then the food was ready to be enjoyed. See, my husband and the boys and myself, of course, could not have enough of this rice. It was that good. I hope you do try this recipe and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Leave a comment down below. Share this video and let's keep the family growing. And until I see you again in another video, do not forget to keep blooming.